right, Shalom. I want to give all praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. I want to give double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations unto the elect of YAHAWAH, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And blessings and salutations unto you, Akim, out there enduring this truth across the four corners of the earth, looking forward to the downfall and destruction of Babylon, also known as America today. And Salakia. Do a quick little lesson, man, as you can see in the title. You know, I gotta remember it. Nebuchadnezzar, his servant, Cyrus, his anointed. Question marks behind both. And just going into how the Lord, at the end of the day, Israel is the Lord's servant, anointed, chosen, peculiar people, apple of his eye. We are his people, as a delicate woman, okay? All of that. But the Lord also deals with the heathen in a certain sense, okay? Even the fact that Esau's in rulership, he gave him that blessing as Esau, man. He said that he would have the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth. And that's exactly what he has. See, that's the thing with our power, you know, opposed to all the other gods that exist, besides the fact that ours is real. He governs the world. He is the puppet master. All right. He has his hand in everything, and everyone abides according to his purpose and his will and his rule. All right. I do want to get the definition of puppet master real quick. Okay. Because I almost wanted to title it that. Actually, I still might. I don't know. But it says puppet master. It says a person, group, or country that covertly controls another. And when you look up covertly, it says without being openly acknowledged or displayed secretly. And that's what's going on. See, people in this society forgot about YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI. So when things happen, they just think that it's happening. They think Putin is making all those decisions. They think Saudi Arabia, the leaders of Saudi Arabia is making all those decisions. They think Biden is making all these decisions. They think themselves is making certain decisions. No, all of this is of YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI. But let me go ahead and get into the scriptures, because I don't want to be too long nor speak too much in my own words. All right, so we're going to start off right here in 2 Chronicles chapter 35, verse 20. It says, after all this, when Josiah had prepared the temple, Necho, king of Egypt, came up to fight against Carchemish by Euphrates, and Josiah went out against him. But he sent ambassadors to him, saying, dang, I didn't want to get this one first, but I'm just go ahead. It says, but he sent ambassadors to him, saying, what have I to do with thee, thou king of Judah? I come not against thee this day, but against the house wherewith I have war. For Most High commanded me to make haste, forbear thee from meddling with God, who is with me, and he destroyed thee not. And now at this time, right? Oh, I know why I got this verse. At this time, Necho, Pharaoh or king of Egypt, was going to assist the Assyrians against the Neo-Babylonian Empire, Nebuchadnezzar, the battle of Carchemish, right? So he's like, look, hey, God is with me. I'm supposed to be going to do these things, and this is what I got to do, you know? And it goes to show you how the Lord will go to the heathen. You know, I remember the apostle saying a while ago that with Alexander the Great, whatever, that he seen UFOs, you know, pretty much helping him in his battles, if I'm not mistaken. And it just goes to show how the Lord assists and has his hands in everything, okay? Like he's telling, you know, Necho's going to help the Assyrians to fight against the Babylonians, who once the Assyrians was done ruling, who came up into power? The Neo-Babylonian Empire. Nebuchadnezzar started ruling. All right. It says, nevertheless, Josiah would not turn his face from him, but disguise himself that he might fight with him, and hearken not unto the words of Necho from the mouth of God, and came to fight in the valley of Megiddo. And the archers shot at King Josiah, and the king said to his servants, have me away, for I am sore wounded. His servants therefore took him out of the chariot and put him in a second chariot that he had, and they brought him to Jerusalem, and he died and was buried in one of the sepulchres of his fathers. And all Judah and Jerusalem mourned for Josiah, because Josiah was a great king. He was a righteous king. He was the one who had the great Passover. You know, they ran across the scriptures, and they started keeping the laws and getting that and getting the idols out, you know, and so he had that great Passover. So he was loved of the people, I would say, you know, but he slipped up at this point trying to interfere with Necho, going to assist the Assyrians to fight against the Babylonians. All right, but nonetheless, the Babylonians was meant to win that war, because that was the start of the Neo-Babylonian Empire, about 609 BC. Okay, so I'm going to get to the next one, right? This is Jeremiah 25:4. The point is in 9, but I'm going to read, for a little bit further up. It says, and Yahawah had sent unto you all his servants the prophets, rising early and sending them, but ye have not hearkened nor inclined your ear to hear. They said, turn ye again now every one from his evil way, and from the evil way of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord hath given unto you and to your fathers forever and ever. And go not after other gods to serve them and to worship them, and provoke me not to anger with the works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. And this is what the Heavenly Father told us. If we serve him instead of serving these other gods, he will watch over us. He will protect us. We can be in our land. He will do us no hurt, right? But what do our people do? Stubborn, stiff-necked, and hard-headed. Went and did it anyway. All right? And this is what happened. And this is what the Lord said. He said, yet ye have not hearkened unto me, said the Lord Yahawah, that ye might provoke me to anger with the works of your hands to your own hurt. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahawah of hosts, because ye have not heard my words, behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, said the Most High, and Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and will utterly destroy them and make them an astonishment and an hissing and a perpetual desolation. And the reason why he's called his servant, because what? He's going to do the Lord's bidding, right? Because Jeremiah was during the time of the last, at least the last 7 kings of Jerusalem, before they ended up going into Babylonian captivity, right? Because Josiah ended up getting, I believe he was the 5th to the last, right? I think he had 3 sons that ruled, and one of his grandsons that had ended up ruling. All right, I kind of forget which is which right now, but they all was ruling, from I think it was Amaziah, or it might have been Amos, and then Manasseh. Then it was, on down. But kind of forget the order right now. But nonetheless, so you can see the Lord putting everything together, right? The fact that he was bringing the Neo-Babylonian Empire up into power, okay? And he's telling Judah, telling them like, look, all right, y'all didn't want to listen. I'm about to have him come down here and take over this land and make it desolate, because he was at that point where he was starting to conquer. The Lord was giving him that power, right, to go and conquer the world at that moment. All right, to be on top, to be the top dog at that moment, man. Because remember, the vision that the dream that Nebuchadnezzar had, he was that head of gold. All right. And who came after that? The Persians and the Medes, right? So here we go. This is Isaiah 45:1. It says, "Thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him, and I will loose the loins of kings, to open before him the two levied gates, and the gates shall not be shut. I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of brass and cut in sunder the bars of iron," meaning you're not going to be able to stop him from going to conquer what he was meant to conquer. Like I said, the Lord gave him that power. He empowered him. All right, because the Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth up. What does it say? He bringeth up and teareth down. I believe it says. I don't want to, butcher it. I think it's. I always get it. It's 1 Samuel 2. I'm gonna remember it. It says, 1 Samuel 2:6, "The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up." Right? So the Lord is the one who, all of these, everybody that's had a chance to rule, he's given a chance to rule. And he's empowered them to take whatever they was meant to take. So like he was telling Cyrus, him being his anointed, okay, of course, he's not the anointed. He's not YAHAWASHI Mashiach, all right? But he was sanctified or ordained in that sense to do what? Ultimately, to take down the Babylonians, right? After they had their rulership, I believe the last one was Belshazzar, or it might have been, I forget his name. He got a weird name. It's like Ashur Unilip, or Upalip or something like that, But he was the last Babylonian king, and then he was taken down by Cyrus. And this is the Lord explaining how he's going to assist Cyrus in taking over, right? But what also came with Cyrus taking over? Because the prophecy was that we would go into captivity in the Babylonians for 70 years. And when 70 years fulfilled, we would come back to our land, right? So here we have it. This is 2 Chronicles 36:21. It says, I'm going to go to 20. It says, I'm going to go to 20. It says, "And then that had escaped from the sword carried he away to Babylon, where they were servants to him and his sons until the reign of the king of Persia, to fulfill the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah, until the land had enjoined her Sabbaths for as long as she lay desolate, she kept Sabbath, to fulfill 60, which is 60, and 10 years, which is 70. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord spoken by the mouth of Jeremiah might be accomplished, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and put it also in writing, saying, Thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, all the kingdoms of the earth hath Yahawah, the power of heaven, given me. And he hath charged me to build him an house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah, who is there among you of all his people. The Most High, his power, be with him, and let him go up. So he physically wasn't going to go and build the temple, nor was the temple actually for him. He was just the one that was ruling at that time. He was the one who the Lord had ordained to be in rulership at that time. Just like he lifted up Pharaoh to show his power, just like the same with Esau. He empowered Esau to fulfill prophecy that he would have the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth, and to have the upper hand on us, and that pride would just be boiling within him, and he would be blinded by his wickedness. And that's exactly what is going on. So he can fulfill these prophecies that's going on now. Ultimately, what? The mark of the beast, man. All right, as well as the second death, which is going to be that by fire, that nuclear, that third world war, which is going to be a nuclear war. All right, by his pride. Oh, well, we got this weapon. That's why he's the only one that used it. right? He's the only one that uses, so of course he feel like the big dog, man. All right, but it's all orchestrated by Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, man. All right, you know we got to get Proverbs, baby. Let me see if I can remember where it's at. Let me see. Dang, why can't I ever remember it? I bet it's verse 2. I bet it's verse 2. No, I remember it, verse 1. What? Salakia, I didn't put this one in my my arsenal. How did it go? Hearts of the Kings. 21 and 1. Okay. This is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. It says, the king's heart, meaning his mind, is in the hand of Yahawah. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So just as a water it goes on a certain path based off of it goes on a certain stream based off the path that it has. It just, even the scriptures say the water don't just go rushing over and onto the land all crazy. No, the trees have their area, so do the water have its area. How the Lord made it, right? So just as it goes on the path and it steers this way and that way, so is their heart, their mind in the hands of the Lord. He controls all of that, man. Like I was saying before, through the Spirit, Putin, Biden, the leaders of Saudi Arabia, the leaders of Iran, any of these leaders, anybody, nobody makes those decisions, man. It's all YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, right? He got the angels, okay? He got the angels doing his bidding, okay? And as the scriptures say, they're ready, you know? Whether it's to, it kind of remind me of this movie I just watched, Shazam, you know, the second part. And one of the gods in that movie, I think she was like the goddess of chaos. And what she would do, she would whisper in people's ears and tell them what to do. And that's how the angels do. You know, they do the same with us when we get our understanding from YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, man. All right. And we're reading and trying to figure things out. You know, they'll be right there giving us that understanding through the Spirit, man. All right. Another, and this story always makes me laugh, man. But another example that I wanted to bring out, but I was just going to speak on it, was the Heliodorus situation. You know, the fact that Heliodorus was proud enough through the command of Antiochus Epiphanes to go in the temple and take our things. And the angels showed up and beat his ass to death. You know, beat him to death. And it came to the point where they prayed that the Lord would give him his life back so it wouldn't start a big war, right? So that's another time, like, the Lord stepped in. He orchestrates all of this. He controls it all, man. He governed the world, okay? Matter of fact, we're going to end it on this one. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 18, verse 1. All right, and it says, he that liveth forever hath created all things in general. Well, what about the plants? Well, what about the trees? Well, what? All things in general. All right. The Lord only is righteous, and there is none other but he. And that's why you can't understand his ways, as his ways and our ways to the heavens, to the earth. Okay. Why would he do? It don't matter, because he can. That's the answer to that. That's why. Because he can. All right. Because he did it, and because he can, you know. It says, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from profane. And that's what it is. Okay. And at the end of the day, all of these power moves and chess moves he's made is ultimately for us to get our ass whooped and be in punishment where we are now, lose our heritage, be discontinued from our heritage, as it says in Jeremiah, get it back and be called the sons of the living power, as it says in Hosea, lift up Esau as he did Pharaoh, as it says in Romans, the 9th chapter, and ultimately give us that salvation as it speaks about in the book of Revelations, man. All right, for the 144,000 and numerous multitude, and then the 2/3 of our people that's gotta, you know, die on this side. All right, they're gonna come back in their rightful mind when we get into the kingdom. That's what all of it. That's the Lord's movie spoiler, man. You know, that is what's going on right now. All right, the Lord already wrote all of it. All it's in the script. Everybody just playing their part according to His will. As we just read, He governed the world. All right. Hey, so with that, Lord willing, you was edified. Lord willing, you was exhorted. And Lord willing, we are allowed to endure to the end. And I want to give all praises once again unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH, Shalom.